Okay, we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:35 p.m. It is the 23rd of January 2025, looking at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press here today in Spain. Lots of interesting stories about, of course, difficult times for the Spanish government. I'm sure some people are happy about that. Some people might not be, but we'll look at some of the main stories, as I said, that have caught my attention. Second half of the live stream, we'll go into the chat section, check out what's happening there, and we'll also take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers too. Straight into the news, this story here leading today. And Prime Minister Sanchez is blaming the opposition party, the PP, and Catalonian Nationalist Party, Junts, for social pain after blocking omnibus decree. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez criticised the People's Party, the PP, and Junts for causing social pain after their opposition led to the rejection of the omnibus decree. Speaking in Valencia during an interministerial commission meeting on recovery measures for areas affected by the Dana storm, Sanchez urged parliamentarians to abandon destructive opposition. He highlighted the uncertainty the decision has caused, noting that pensioners are unsure if their pensions will increase. Young people are uncertain about free transport passes, and mayors are unclear about receiving Dana-related aid. While Sanchez referred to the groups that voted against the decree, he explicitly mentioned the PP, but avoided direct criticism of Junts, indicating the government's intention to rebuild its relationship with the party. The remarks reflect ongoing political tensions and the potential impact of the decree's rejection on key social and recovery measures. So the first royal decree that the Spanish government wanted to get through Parliament yesterday, rejected because of the Partido Popular's opposition, also Vox's opposition and Junts. But as we saw there, the Prime Minister not mentioning Junts in his speech because he wants to keep Mr. Puigdemont, Spain's #1 fugitive, happy, because he will need the support of that political party in the future to get more laws or decrees passed in Parliament. That is the issue here, and all of the blame being placed on the Partido Popular for the decree not going through yesterday, the omnibus decree, as I think it was called there. Basically, it was free transport or transport aids for certain groups of society, which have now been scrapped. Also, pensions, unsure whether they will will rise this year or increase this year, as we saw there. And social hurt, I think was the word, social pain, was the expression used by the Prime Minister, trying to put all of the blame onto the opposition party, and no doubt some people will point the blame at those parties for not getting their increase in their pension this year, as they were expecting. So we'll see what happens, but difficult times for the government to get anything passed in Congress, given that they don't have much support. Basically, that's the reason. Second piece of news here, and pressure is mounting on Spain to increase military spending. Spain faces growing pressure from NATO, the European Union, and US President Donald Trump to allocate more funds to defence. NATO has long pushed for its members to meet the target of spending of 2% of GDP on defence, with its Secretary General warning last year that sacrifices would be necessary, particularly with Trump's anticipated demands. President Trump, speaking from the Oval Office shortly after his inauguration, criticised Spain's military spending as very low. His comments coincided with a controversial statement, either ironic or mistaken, suggesting that Spain is part of the BRICS group of emerging economies. Adding to the pressure, the European Union's foreign policy chief supported Trump's stance, stating that Europe does not invest enough in defence, aligning with the US president's critique. The mounting calls highlight Spain's lagging defence budget, placing increased expectations on Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez to address these demands amid heightened scrutiny from international allies. And we all know that this topic popped up a few years ago during Trump's first mandate. He wanted countries to spend more on defense, and today he has said that he wants the defense budget upped to 5% of GDP on military spending. That is what Mr. Trump has said today. So Spain, as we saw there, lagging behind. But the Spanish government was quick to point out yesterday that it is the 8th country when it comes to NATO spending, the 8th highest country when it comes to NATO spending. Don't know whether that is correct or not, but that is the spin that the government here is putting on it. And tensions between the countries, Spain and the United States, increasing in recent times, given Mr. Trump's, as we saw there, maybe gaffe, or maybe ironic statement that Spain is an emerging economy, which the government has also said is not true. Spain is the highest growing economy in the European Union, as they pointed out yesterday to refute Mr. Trump's words. Third piece of news here, and rental payment defaults rise, exceeding 7 months of rent in high-stress areas. Rental payment defaults in Spain increased over the past year. According to the study, The Situation of Rental Defaults in Spain, published by the Rental Observatory. On average, tenants owe landlords €7,957, a 4.2% increase compared to 2023, equivalent to around 7 months of rent. The issue is most pronounced in regions with higher rental prices, where the financial strain on households is a key factor contributing to defaults. In Catalonia, where rents are among the highest in Spain, the average debt reached €10,996. Barcelona recorded the highest default rate in the country, with an average debt exceeding €13,400. The Balearic Islands and the Madrid community followed closely, with average debts of €10,200 and €9,800 respectively. The findings highlight the growing challenge of rental affordability in Spain's most expensive regions, further exacerbating financial difficulties for tenants and landlords alike. So another problem added to the list here: rental payment defaults on the rise, and adding to the serious housing crisis here in Spain, which is damaging the country enormously, given the fact that people can't get into decent housing. They can't afford to pay their rents. They're defaulting on their rents, which would lead landlords to try to kick people out. That will lead to a further crisis, and landlords will probably hesitate before putting their rental properties on the market again. And there have been some interesting articles in foreign press in recent times about this issue here in Spain and just how serious it is. And the government is going to react. That's going to be with some unfavorable measures for many, as we have seen in recent times. The announcement of extraordinary taxes and things like that. So the situation here in Spain, dire as far as housing is concerned, and government's not really knowing what to do and trying to come up with ad hoc plans to fix the situation, which is a direct result of policies in the past. That's what normally happens, and now it's out of control. And as we saw, seriously damaging the situation in the country at the moment for many, many people. The Spanish government, fourth piece of news here, and the Spanish government has allocated $2.2 billion for post-Dana reconstruction in Valencia. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez announced the new $2.2 billion aid package to support municipalities affected by the severe floods of October the 29th, which claimed 227 lives, predominantly in the Valencia province. The funding will cover 100% of the reconstruction costs for municipal buildings and water supply infrastructure damaged by the floods. Sánchez emphasized the government's commitment, stating, "Every last cent will be provided until the final brick is laid." Sánchez made the announcement during a meeting with the 28 mayors of the most affected municipalities in Valencia, marking his first visit to the region in almost 3 months. This aid package adds to over $16.6 billion previously mobilized by the government through 3 royal decrees in response to the disaster. The new funding reflects the government's ongoing commitment to rebuilding and supporting the communities hardest hit by the catastrophic flooding. And this text, of course, written by the state broadcaster RTVE, the ongoing commitment of the government, which some people would laugh at. We know that some people feel abandoned by governments in that part of Spain. Mr. Sanchez hasn't visited in 3 months because the last time he went there, if you remember correctly, we saw what happened. Angry people started throwing things at him, and of course he decided from that moment on that he wasn't welcome in that part of the country. So finally gone back, not greeting the public, but a discreet visit to 18 municipalities, or getting 18 municipalities together to promise more money. Comments now, and Mike Flory is the first one here. They may well inherit properties if they can afford the inheritance tax imposed in most provinces in Spain. Yeah, let's not confuse provinces with autonomous communities, Mike. There's a difference. Andalusia is an autonomous community made up by a certain amount of provinces, and it's the autonomous community governments that do put that inheritance tax on people's estates when they pass away. And I've heard stories of people renouncing their inheritance because they can't afford to pay the tax. So that's what we're dealing with here. Even when you pass away, even when you are 6 feet under, as they say, the government is still trying to get your money. That's what we're dealing with here. So thanks, Mike, for that. And it's a shame. One here from Dude. Stuart, I recently was fined for not having my paperwork in order on my foreign plated vehicle. I was fined €250 and the local police only would accept cash. Later I found out that you cannot pay in cash any longer. I have the fine but no proof that I paid. Does anyone out there have any advice for me? Cheers, Dude. Not sure, Dude. We'll put it out there if anybody has advice for you, but a lot of these things can be paid online. So go to the local council where you were fined, check whether they do have a payments option, and you should be able to get a receipt. If you have paid, or if you haven't paid, you can do it that way, if that's what I understood there. But thanks, and if anybody has further advice for Dude about his dilemma there with his not having his car papers in order, let him know. Another one here from Recipe Review. Spain has also been in bed with India recently, so maybe a confusion came from there. Also, Sanchez wants to stifle free speech and regulate all media outlets if it doesn't follow his agenda. Thanks, Recipe Review. Spain has been dealing with India recently. Spain, how Pedro Sanchez has been on the road over the last 12 months visiting certain countries, trying to convince people that Spain is a country to invest in. There was talk about Spain becoming a Bollywood film studio location. Don't know whether that's started yet or not, but that was one of the ideas put on the table by Mr. Sanchez. So we'll see what happens as far as that is concerned. Maybe that was one of the reasons why Mr. Trump confused Spain with that BRICS group. There's a lot of speculation about many things that occurred the other day at that inauguration. For example, certain salutes that were made by people and comments that were made by others, Mr. Trump, for example. So no one really knows. It's all a matter of interpretation. And as far as the other one goes here, Sanchez wants to stifle free speech. He wants to control what is said on social media and what is put out there by outlets that he doesn't consider valid or that have a good reputation, let's say. So the traditional media, no problem there. But when it comes to some of these internet publications that have popped up, or YouTubers that express their opinion on Spanish politics, there's plenty of people out there expressing their opinions. That is what he wants to try to control. So, yep, that is true. That is true. Another one here from Linchets. That part of Vera always floods because it's actually below sea level. The beach area has been expanded and raised to push back the shoreline. The land has been built on. The land has then been built on, and when the rain falls or the wind blows, the place floods. It's like building on floodplains and then complaining when houses flood. It's not climate change, but totally a man-made problem. Thanks, Lynn Chetz. We saw this the other day, that town in Almeria, The water engulfing the town 200 meters from the shore line because of a storm that passed through. Not the first time it has happened. And a 400,000 euro, if I remember correctly, sand barrier that was put up, completely destroyed. So 400,000 euros down the toilet. But again, you have to scratch your head and wonder if it is in fact true, and I have no reason to doubt what Linchet says here, that the land has been built below sea level. So if you buy a house below sea level close to the coast, that is what most likely will happen, and that is what we're seeing in that town of Veta, which looks to be a lovely place. But yeah, if you bought property there, maybe you've made a mistake, as with many coastal homes in Spain. Yeah, they'll sell you the homes close to the coast, but yeah, what will happen when those storms come through, as we've seen in various parts of the Levante coastline over the last few years, because there were no restrictions before. If you wanted to build a meter away from the coast, literally that's what people did. They stuck up a wall, built a house there and said, well, look at my views. And then when the wall starts to fall down and half the house starts to fall down, they say, well, you let me build here. And that's probably true. The government did let them build there, and they want compensation. And another dilemma for many. And the final comment, no, sorry, not the final comment. This one, his second last comment here from Diego. There is also balea. But its meaning is stop it or cut it out, usually from parents to their kids when they're mischievous, and others as ya te vale, but too slangy. Thanks, Diego. This is a video that I put out yesterday, I think, with those words, bale and benga, how they are used here in Spain, and also other ways that we can use the word there. Balea. That's enough. Balea. Stop it. And what was the other one? Ya te vale, chaval. Ya te vale. Meaning, as we saw here, a bit too slangy, as Diego is pointing out. But ya te vale basically means that I've had enough of what you're saying, or what you're saying I don't want to hear anymore. Ya te vale, or what you're doing, I don't want any more of it. Ya te vale. Now, the last comment, this one here from the 666 link 666. Please make more videos like this one. It was very helpful. Would be great if you could make a video about commonly used words or phrases at a grocery store or pharmacy, for example. Thanks. Yeah, I'll look into it. I'm open to suggestions when it comes to the Spanish language. If anybody's heard an expression in Spain that they don't know what it means, or they hear it constantly and they're still trying to scratch their head, like those ones that I put out yesterday for some people, or if you want expressions like that person suggested there at the grocery store or the supermarket, I'm open to suggestions, so send them through in the comment section. Let me know, and I'll put out more videos about the Spanish language, or at least the Spanish language that I hear in Spain on a regular basis, and I have heard over the last few decades that I've been here. Now I'm going to change the backdrop in just a moment. That's the end of the comments. This one here was sent in by James and Kathy. This is La Manga in Murcia, apparently, and a storm was overhead, and wow. That storm looks quite serious, but you can get an idea of the coastal construction in many parts. They're very, very close to the water, and when those storms come in, when the winds pick up, a lot of the coast is battered, and no doubt that is what happened with this storm. So thanks, guys, for sending the photo through. Lovely photo. And if you've got a similar one that you would like to see on the backdrop, the email address is that one there, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Feel free to send your photos through. If you've got other information that you would like to send my way, the email address is that one there, spainspeaks@gmail.com. People that haven't hit the like button yet, we're currently at 53, so we've cracked the half a ton. We'll see if we can get up to a decent tally today. So consider hitting the like button, which you will find just below the video if you're watching on a computer or phone. And on a TV, you might have to use the remote control to find the like button, but it's there. So consider hitting it, please. Now, to people that have supported the channel in recent times, let me find that one there. This one here, super thanks, super chat option, which is another way to support the channel. Buying me a coffee. Patreon supporters, thank you very much for that support. And also people that have become members. Chris is the latest person to join the membership community. Thank you very much, Chris, for your support. Great to have you on board. And options starting at 99 cents a month now. I'll have to change the information that I have here, because there is a cheaper option now for potential members to join the channel and help keep it going into the future, 2025 and beyond. We will see. We will see. It's been a journey so far, I can tell you that. Now, I'm going to go into the chat section. Let's see what's happening there. Lots of regular names coming out at me here. John, for example, warm San Diego, where John is, temperatures around 22, on its way up. I hope everyone has had a wonderful Thursday. Thanks for that. Andrew's in the chat as well from the UK. Cold there, icy, London southeast. Thank you very much, Andrew. Barbara's in the chat too, valued member. Also, Playa Flamenca, pleasant day, 21 degrees Celsius. I'll take that, Barbara, 21 degrees Celsius. I will take it. Sunny coming in from the United Kingdom, bracing themselves there for a stormy couple of days. Thanks for that. Janet's also talking about the storm, saying that she hopes that it passes without too much damage. Let's hope so. We've seen the damage that storms can do in recent times. Let's hope that it's limited. Amanda's in the chat too, hoping everyone is well. Good to see you, Amanda. Al's in the chat, coming in from San Diego at Doc's office. May have to leave early, no problem. Al, hope all is well there. Getting a checkup, no doubt. Erica coming in from Terrassa, quite mild, has managed to get up to 19 degrees at lunchtime. Wishing all the best for the coming weekend. Thanks for that. John's in the chat too, hoping everyone is well, or hoping all is well, I should say. Jen coming in from a frosted over Seattle, Washington, chilly, little over 0 in the neighborhood there, 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Never catch up. I never get to catch Stu live. Feeling special. Thanks, Jen. Obviously, the time difference with the west coast of the US, not easy. Bit of a difference, as we know. CEO Man coming in from a snowy eastern Ontario, Canada. Thanks for that. Good to see you, CEO Man. Gino coming in from Toledo, normally in Canada. Hoping all the viewers are well. Heading off to Denia and Javier tomorrow. Looking forward to warmer weather. Yes, I imagine it's been a bit chilly in Toledo. Mary's in the chat too, coming in from Peñíscola. Long time since Mary's caught a live stream, and it's my fault with all the travels. I started doing the same, 22 years. Here, I never thought I'd go to Benidorm and loved it. Yes, Mary, Benidorm in the off-season, probably better than in the peak tourist season. That would be my recommendation when it's not so crowded. But yeah, it's an interesting place, Benidorm. Glad to see that you liked it. Brad's in the chat too, from the south of Spain. Muy buenas a todos. James and Kathy, the people that took this photo behind me here. Chilly Worcester. Clearer conditions allowed for our daily walk, bracing for the forecast storm tomorrow. Storm is on its way. There we go. Johnny coming in from San Diego, or a few San Diego viewers this evening. No fires and a chance of rain on Sunday. Good to see, Johnny, that the fires haven't been an issue there. Alma, I think it is, coming in here, saying good evening from Benny Hoffard. Pleasant 20 degrees there. Thanks for that. Roland, Minneapolis. Good to see you, Roland. Jen saying, regarding or re-rent, I've been following real estate in our chosen city on Idealista for over 2 years. Now that we are within 18 months of making the move, I've also added a long-term rental search. Yeah, Jen, good luck with that. Hope you do find something. Prices continue to rise, making it almost impossible. I saw a Reddit thread a little bit earlier, somebody saying that he gave up his apartment for $1,300 euros a month. In Barcelona, I think it was, and the landlord put it up to 1,900 euros a month for the next tenant moving in. So that's what people are dealing with here. That's what people are dealing with. Solar Life saying plenty of fires here today, but the ones we wanted to burn all of the olive pruning. There we go. People burning their olive branches that they've cut off. Manuel was in the chat as well, coming in from a relatively warm Valencia. I think the best way to help with the housing crisis is to focus on the España Vacío and encourage people to move to less populated towns. Yeah, difficult to encourage people to do that, Manuel, because as we know, people flock to places where they have services, where they have jobs, where they have their friends and their friendship groups and all of those things. Encouraging them to move to some of the less populated towns, it's difficult. And as somebody who spent a lot of time in a small town in Australia growing up, my mother's town, I only spent holidays there. I never lived there, but spending holidays there for kids, that get used to city life, difficult to encourage people to move to some of these smaller parts. That's right. And my experience is that, you go to some of these towns and you see maybe one or two people that have moved from the big smoke, maybe primarily because they've got family connections with those towns. So they've maybe got access to a house that they can do up or something like that. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's not easy. It doesn't seem to be on the government's radar to do that either. Jen also saying here that there are houses saved in Idealista that have been on the market for over a year. Rentals? Hardly any. None. Nada. That's it, right? That's it. Terry saying here you can pretty much discuss the rent crisis in almost every Western country at this point. Yes, that is probably true, Terry. But we focus on Spain where it is an issue at the moment, and it is destroying the quality of life for many, many people that can't get into a home, can't emancipate, can't start their lives. It's a problem. Here we're saying, what's the best salary to live comfortably in Spain? Well, I don't know. It depends on what your expenses are. Work remotely to a higher paying country is the answer there from Solar Life. Probably good advice. Philip saying, have I still got my dog? Yep, she hasn't gone anywhere. She's just not here currently, Philip. She's somewhere else in the house, probably sitting next to somebody who's got food. It's what she normally does at this time of the evening. Joseph coming in from Tucson, Arizona, or as a Spanish person would say, Tucson. Between 13 and 21 degrees there. Sunny days here. Everyone is loving it, all outside on bikes or in parks, much like the Jaén area. This is our summer outdoor time. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks for that. What else? Bob's coming in, valued member 2, Torrevieja. What landlord would want to put his property into the long-term rental market when we have debt levels like the ones that we saw earlier? Good question there, Bob. And nobody wants to have somebody in your home renting it out and owing you 10,000 euros because you'll never get that money back, I don't think. And as I mentioned before, that discourages a lot of people from going onto that rental market. They'd prefer to have probably make less money from Airbnb, but have the money up front, I suppose. Don't know. Antonio's getting back to the question asked before. The lowest to live comfortably but not in expensive places like Madrid, Donosti, Barcelona, Mallorca, Ibiza for a couple with no kids is about 2.5 in cheap places. So there we go. Thanks, Antonio, for that. Chrissy, regular viewers in the chat, 17 degrees where she is today. They could impose benefits to people who start businesses in these regions, maybe tax incentives or credits for something. Yeah, it's been tried, I think, Manuel. Don't know how successful it has been. There was a big push after COVID. Towns were offering incentives for people to move there. There were various schemes set up I haven't heard too much about it. I think it's all sort of fallen away. But a lot of these towns, when you go to them, I'm going to be honest, Manuel, living here in Spain, you've seen them as well. They're not the most attractive places in the world, a lot of these small towns. Again, my opinion. What else we got going on? Bleep Trump, says Terry. Yeah, it's going to be hard to do that, Terry, because everybody's looking to see which way he's going to move. So it's going to be difficult to bleep him. That's right. Gigi's in the chat too, coming in from Surprise, Arizona. Temperature's 18 degrees there. Bit chilly. Mandy's saying that you need $4,000 to live comfortably in Spain nowadays. Again, I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who was reminiscing about the past. The Spanish guy, probably is in his 40s, saying, oh no, Spain used to be a cheap country. We were happy. Our salaries were low, but it didn't cost us much, on a monthly basis. But now salaries are low still, but the cost of living's gone up and people are doing it tough. And that 4,000 euros there, wowee. 4,000 euros, not too many people around the place making 4,000 euros a month. I can guarantee that. Andrew coming in here, sunny, chilly mornings, midday afternoons, comfortable mid-teens. Thanks for that. Housing crisis, says Antonio, is going to take us into an economical boom when we change government. The economy in Spain is going to skyrocket in 4 years, but really grow not like now. Thanks, Antonio, for that. Obviously not happy with what's going on government-wise. Rob, any victims of the mafia and electronic weapons via mobile phones? I expect to have the answer interrupted as usual. At least they're transmitting. Not sure what Rob's talking about there, so I'll get rid of that one. Let's have a look here. Quickly. James, the photo was taken on the 30th of December, and the next day, huge thunderstorm, but it didn't stop the fireworks. There we go. Thanks for that. Stop those New Year's fireworks. Heidi saying evening. Thanks for that, Heidi. Good to see you. Paul's coming in from a chilly London. Good to see you too, Paul. Sean the Prawns here as well. Expecting a terrible storm in Ireland, the worst storm in living memory apparently. I hope it's not too cold in Madrid. No, actually it's not too cold in Madrid, and again with that storm that's going to hit the Irish coastline and the UK coastline, yeah, take care if it is the worst storm in living memory. What else? Paddy coming in from Santiago de Compostela, I suppose. Or Santiago de Chile, don't know. Brian saying that he's seriously considering enrolling in one of the Escuelas de Idiomas in Calpe to improve his Spanish, but I have to consider my rather tight budget though. There we go, Brian. Thanks for that. Good idea to enroll in one of the Escuelas. Yeah, not sure what your budget is, but of course you'd have to look into that. But definitely it would be a good expense because it could improve your quality of life here, being able to communicate a little bit more fluently with the locals. What else? Let's have a look. Brad's told our invitado to follow the channel, as you are the oracle about all things Espanol. Far from it, Brad, far from it. This is a community where we try and get an input from everybody on what's happening. I just control it basically, but far from it. Mike's coming in from Vermilon, -7 there. You can still say million, it's Vermilion. There we go. Vermilion, is it? I might have got it wrong. Been getting it wrong. Thanks for that and pointing it out, Mike. Vermilion. Okay. What else we got going on? Exploring with Jen's in the chat too. Regular viewer coming in from Valencia. Helen also. Trouble is that touristy places are overcrowded because they're beautiful. Close your eyes and blank out the crowds. Thanks, Helen, for that. Yeah, that's something that you can do. Gino had the discussion with his cousin yesterday. He said that if your property's paid off with $2,000 a month, you could live comfortably for a single person. Yeah, paying off the property is the issue. How long does it take? Heidi saying that until they change the law on ocupas, I wouldn't even contemplate long-term renting out property to anyone. Thanks, Heidi. Many people share that thought there. What else? Let's have a look here. Aquarius saying, hello. Regular viewer Dave, former Madrid correspondent, in the chat, hoping we're well. Spent the morning visiting his little granddaughter, 3 months old already. Wow. Time going quickly there, Dave. Enjoy the time with the 3-month-old granddaughter. I'm sure you are. And Aquarius saying, how can I live there and buy the apartment? I think that's apartment faster. No idea, Aquarius. No idea. Now that's the end of the chat. I'm going to wrap it up. I've had enough for the week as far as live streams are concerned. It's been a pleasure. As always, I'll be back again on Sunday with another live stream. Hopefully some more content coming out before then. You never know. But I'll try and get something edited and out. Send through some ideas. If you want more language videos, if you want more food reviews, let us know. And I'll try to do my best. Have a great start to the weekend. A fantastic end to the current week. And as I said, see you again on Sunday evening at the same time. Hasta luego. Hasta entonces. Adios. Bye-bye.